Fundamentals of Asset Protection. The Family Limited Partnership. Family Limited Partnerships, FLPs, are legitimate estate planning, wealth preservation, and asset protection vehicles. Placing assets into FLPs can legally and successfully protect everything you own from attack by creditors. FLPs prove to be especially important for practicing licensed professionals such as doctors, engineers, and business owners. The structure of FLPs consists of general partners and limited partners. The general partner and limited partners cannot be the same people. However, a separate entity such as a limited liability company owned and controlled by you and your spouse can act as the controlling parties and therefore easily satisfy this requirement. The general partners, you as the client, and your spouse, or a separate entity owned and controlled by you and your spouse, manage and control the FLP. General partners decide whether to buy or sell an asset, what investments the partnership should make, and whether to make distributions of profits. The general partners even decide whether to dissolve the FLP. Just as before you set up the FLP, you and your spouse, either individually or through a separate additional asset protection legal entity, control the assets and make operational decisions. By law, limited partners do not have any control over how the partnership is run. Moreover, limited partners do not have any voice in the management of the partnership. The limited partner is typically either the children or revocable trust. Benefits of family limited partnerships: asset protection. An effective tool, the family limited partnership is set up for asset preservation, asset protection, and estate planning. With careful structuring, you can place assets into the FLP to protect your assets from attack by creditors. Clients implement FLPs into their planning to safeguard assets from attacks from creditors. Creditors are also broadly defined and include actual creditors as well as identifiable probable creditors. The effectiveness of an FLP has been codified as law, and thus the actual asset protection provided is statutory. Adopted in all 50 states, the Revised Uniform Limited Partnership Act, RULPA, provides that the assets owned by a limited partnership are not owned by the individual partners. Therefore, after creating the FLP, none of your assets in the FLP are exposed to creditors. Another advantage to using an FLP as an estate planning tool involves taxes. When an asset that is placed in the FLP generates returns, those returns stay in the FLP rather than the parent's estate. In other words, on the parent's death, the estate focuses on the value of the asset at the time it was transferred to the FLP. Strategizing for a successful family limited partnership. To obtain the intended benefits of the FLP, it is vital that the client works with experienced professionals. In addition, here are a few points in mind to assure you obtain the benefits of an FLP as intended. First, make sure that you put all your assets into the FLP to completely protect all of your assets. In addition, make sure to keep clear records on both your personal and the FLP assets. If you are interested in protecting your assets from potential creditors, call Mark Fishbein with ALTA Estate Services at 520-797-1400.